there are not a lot of months at all where I celebrate a topic that might come up that month within my reading, but there are 2 months where I do, the first of which is Christmas. Speaking of which, if you have any Christmas book recommendations for me to read in December, please let me know, because I only have 1, maybe 2 Christmas books so far on my December TBR, which is not like me at this point in time with my reading. The first one will be the Next Christmas Tree Farm series book by Jacqueline Frost, The Cozy Mystery, and I might read the latest Debbie Maycomber Christmas book, because I have done that for the past 2 years as well. But otherwise, I don't have any other Christmas books on my TBR, so if you have recommendations, gimme, leave them in the comments below, because I'll be more than excited to read books that you all recommend for Christmas. Just make sure it has a very Christmassy feel, because the more Christmassy, the better for me. But the only other month that I celebrate a theme with my reading is October. I celebrate the Halloween month by reading horror books in October. We don't celebrate Halloween in Australia, but I like paying particular attention to horror in October. Doesn't mean I don't read horrors outside of October, but I like to read horrors in October to celebrate Halloween. That was a very long way of me saying, welcome to the spooky Would You Rather book tag. All right, let's jump right on into this one. Prompt number 1, thrillers or supernaturals? Okay, so yeah, it's a Would You Rather book tag, so this one or that one, basically. Okay, thrillers. Yeah, especially for Halloween thrillers. If you're talking about during the year, I would probably still say thrillers. Yeah, I don't really read supernatural books. I read fantasy, but not supernaturals. So yeah, thrillers. Prompt number 2, ghosts or zombies? Can I say neither? Look, honestly, I get that there is this whole craze with zombies, and far be it from me to take the craze away from anyone. You do you. If you love the whole zombie thing, that's great. For me, it's not that I'm scared by zombies. It's the total opposite. The zombie thing bores me. Maybe I just don't understand it the way a lot of others do, but the zombie things I don't know, it doesn't scare me. It just bores me. So by default, I'd go with ghosts, but I don't really read a lot of ghost stuff. There was a ghost that featured in the first arc of the Spelford Cove Cozy Mystery series by Samantha Silver, and I appreciated that. I haven't read a lot of ghost stuff, though. So, yeah, by default, I go with ghost. Prompt number 3. Vampires or werewolves? That is easy. Vampires. I loved the addition of Jacob Black in the Twilight Saga. Again, keeping it to books, the book series, because it was great to get the lore behind werewolves. I did really appreciate that, and I did love, for a little while anyway, what is that Teen Wolf show. So the whole wolf thing, I'm fine with it. I can read it, I can watch it, that's all fine. But if I have to choose, it's a very easy choice for me. I love the whole vampire lore and myth thing. So if I can read a lot of vampire stuff, I will. So this was a very easy one for me. I would go with vampires. Prompt number 4, witches or demons? Witches. As much as exploring demons could be interesting, because I haven't done it a lot at all, I would have to go with witches, because I just think that there is also a lot to explore with witches, and I would find that a lot more interesting. And also, given that the stereotype of witches only being evil was broken in fiction a long time ago, so you can have good witch stuff, and you can have evil witch stuff, and you can have good and evil witch stuff in the one book or one series. So, there's a lot to play with witches. So I would go with that one. Number 5, would you rather read a book with 13 chapters or a book with a black cat on the cover? Wow, that is actually a really good question. Prompts to the person who came up with that question, because that's a good one. I would go with either. But if I have to choose, I'll go with a black cat on the cover, because I love covers that have cats. And I can give you a black cat on a cover prompt, which would be the Magical Bookshop Mystery Series by Amanda Flower. There is a black cat on every cover in every book of that series. So, yeah, but I can read a book with 13 chapters. That's fine as well. But yeah, I'd choose the black cat because I love cats and I love reading about cats. So yeah, I'd probably go with that one. Prompt number 6. Would you rather read a spooky book in the dark with only a candle for light or by yourself in a locked, brightly lit room? I really... I'm sure that there are people out there who are hearing this question now and going, oh my God, I don't know, I'm scared. But for me, I could go with either. I haven't read by candlelight. I either haven't ever read by candlelight or I haven't for a long time, one of the two. And I don't mind being locked in a brightly lit room, so I'm good with either. If I had to choose, I would choose the read a spooky book in a dark room in the dark with only a candle, because if I'm reading a horror book, it would set the ambiance. So yeah, I would go for the dark room with the candle, but I could go with either one. That would be fine for me. Would you rather face your worst... Number 7. Would you rather face your worst fears or be trapped in the mind of a killer? Ooh, that is a good question. Oh my gosh. That has me stumped. For a book tag, wow. I really don't know if I have an answer for this one. I think that there's pros and cons to both. If you're trapped in the mind of a killer, then you're not facing your worst fears, so that would be the pro for that side. And if you're facing your worst fears, then you're not trapped in the mind of a killer. So both come with pros and both come with cons. I don't know. Probably face my worst fears, because with the trapped in the mind of a killer, you would be trapped there. So where there's nothing saying that once you face your worst fear, that's not over and you don't face any more challenges. So yeah, I'd probably go with the former one. I would rather face my worst fears, but yeah, it's a very interesting question for a book tag. Next one. Number 8. Would you rather watch a scary movie or read a scary book? Easy. I'd rather read a scary book. I can watch scary movies now, although there are some quote-unquote scary movies that I find to just be really boring. And I'm sorry to anyone who is fans of the let's try and make this look realistic even though it's not realistic, documentary, fictional type scary movie things. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm referring to like the Blair Witch Project or Paranormal Activity. They just don't work for me. Like, honestly, I watch them and I just think I'm bored, honestly. So, yeah. I, for the longest time, and I've spoken about this in detail, so I'll just very quickly rehash it with all of you. I, for the longest time, was not able to watch the Saw movies because I freaked out just watching Saw 1. But now I love them all and need to watch Saw 10. I still haven't watched it. And it's out at the cinemas now. But I prefer to read scary books than watch scary movies because they're longer, usually, than the movie. And, yeah, I prefer to read. That was a lame answer. Let's move on. Prompt number 9. Would you rather read spooky books during the fall time or all year? All year. Yeah, I'd rather read them all year. Prompt number 10. Would you rather read 10 spooky books in October or 10 spooky books all year? Ooh, that's a tough one. I would rather read 10 spooky books all year because I like mixing up my genres, and even though my October TBR is heavily dominated by horrors, I do have other genres on my October TBR. So I'd rather read 10 spooky books all year because then I can still have room in October to add other genres. And that's the end of that tag. So I'm going to do another one in this video. Very quickly, if you're leaving after this tag, I tag anyone and everyone. If you want to do this tag, go ahead. Let me know you've done it so I can come along and watch it. Let's jump into another tag. Both of these tags do come from the Sassy Geek. That is the TheSassYGeek.wordpress.com. So thank you, the Sassy Book Geek, for these prompts. The second one I'm going to do is the Halloween book tag. So let's begin. Prompt number 1, favorite scary must read for Halloween. Oh my gosh, that is too hard. Okay. I will give you 2. The first one is Cenote by Sean Horton. This is like a 1 hour or less audiobook, and also is out on ebook, but it's not available on physical book. But I do recommend it. Just because it is short does not mean it doesn't pack a powerful punch. And the other one that is longer than that one is The Housemates by Ian Rob Wright. If you like Big Brother and you like the Saw film series, combine the two and you have The Housemates by Ian Rob Wright. But oh my gosh, is it horror to the umpteenth degree. So be ready and check out the trigger warnings before you read in case something has potential to trigger you in a horror book. But I recommend both of them. Prompt number 2, scariest book cover, comma, like ever. Okay, like ever. Okay, yes. Scariest book cover. I honestly don't know what my scariest book cover is. Give me a moment and I'll have a look. Okay, I'm going to be very specific here with these editions of the books I'm holding. So the first one is Pet Sematary by Stephen King. It has a black and grey background and has a picture of a cat that has blood that looks like it's coming out of its head. I've had this since 2020, and it's because I saw this edition on another booktube channel, and I went, whoa, I need that one, so I purchased it. It's a US edition. And the other one is, even though this is marketed as a dystopian, I don't get it, and that is The Getaway by Lamar Giles. I think the book just took offense by me saying that I don't get the cover because it just flew out of my hands. But anyway, we'll let that go. It is, after all, the Halloween book tag. Okay, so this has a red and black background, and it has a man's face, and there are like crosses over their eyes and over their mouth, looking like stitch marks. I would say that these 2 books, these 2 editions, are the scariest that I own. Prompt number 3, if you could go trick-or-treating with any author, who would you pick? Now, come on, that's not fair. First of all, I don't go trick-or-treating because Halloween's not as huge in Australia as it is in the States. But if I were to, I'd want to go trick-or-treating with an author that I love as opposed to an author that I feel would do Halloween well. So I really wouldn't care what they dress up as or what they do. I would just want to go for the sake of hanging out with them. And because of that, I would go with Amanda Flower. I don't know what she would dress up as, but I'm going to go with Amanda Flower. And I don't know, maybe I'll dress up as someone from the Amish Candy Shop mystery series. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. Or maybe I could go as, is it Figaro? The cat from, oh gosh, what is that series called? The Magical Bookshop mystery series. I may go as Figaro the cat. Okay, it's not Figaro, it's Emerson. And now I have a question for you, dear listeners. In which cozy mystery does a cat by the name of Figaro appear? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, Figaro may appear in more than one cozy mystery series, so let me know all the ones that you read where the name Figaro appears for a cat to help me determine which series I'm thinking of unconsciously. But I'm referring to Emerson, so I don't know, dress up as Emerson the cat. And go trick-or-treating with Amanda Flower, because why not? Prompt number 4, if you could dress up as any bookish character for Halloween, who would you be? The quickest answer that comes to mind is Vin from Mistborn: The Final Empire and, well, the Mistborn trilogy. Because, yeah, I'd love to dress up with the Mist Cloak. If you've read the book, you know what I mean. She has to wear a cloak when she does certain things. So I'd love to wear that. Is it just fiction? Any bookish character? Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'll leave it at that for now. I mean, I don't dress up. I don't trick or treat. I did dress up one year did not trick or treat, was waiting to see if trick or treaters would come to my home. They didn't. And I dressed up as the Angel of Death from the original Charmed TV series. And so that was fun. I had my long black cloak. And as opposed to the Grim Reaper, I did not have a scythe because the Angel of Death in the OG Charmed didn't have a scythe. But yeah, I was waiting for people to come and no one came to the door, so I learned my lesson. Prompt number 5. If you could find anything from any book in your trick or treat stash, what would you hope to find? That is a very good question. If you could find anything in your trick or treat stash from any book, what would you find? Can I find some magical abilities from like some of my fantasy books? That would be fun. Okay, I've taken some time to think about it. I'm going to give you 2 answers, one that's serious and one that's just my funny answer. So the serious answer would be anything from Swissman Sweets. So any of the candy made in the Amish candy shop series from Amanda Flower. The candy store that the protagonist works in is called Swissman Sweets. So any candy from Swissman Sweets would be lovely, and that would be my serious answer. My non-serious answer would be to find Alec Lightwood from the Shadowhunter series, the Modern Instruments series. He's just there. He's just in amongst the candy. There you go. Take with that and do with that what you will. Prompt number 6. In what fictional world would you like to go trick-or-treating? And the original person that did this tag put Harry Potter as their world. Yeah, I would like to trick or treat in the Harry Potter world because they have so many different forms of candy, so that would be fun. I seriously don't know. I don't really trick or treat, so I never really thought about this. I don't know. I could literally pick any world and just go and trick or treat in that world. And don't you? You know what? I'm going to say in the Divergent world, I would love to trick or treat in every faction and see what I end up with. So if you read the Divergent series, you know what I mean. Like, go to Dauntless and see what I would get from there, and then go to Candor, and see what I get from there, and then go to Abnegation and see what I get from there. And I just think that would be really interesting. In the Harry Potter world, I wouldn't mind trick or treating at the houses at Hogwarts, so to see what I would get from Ravenclaw House, which would be my house. But anyway, also like maybe I'd get a book from them, and then go to Gryffindor House and see what I get there, and then Slytherin House and see what I get there, and then Hufflepuff House and probably get a whole bunch of candy because we love Hufflepuff. But yeah, that would be interesting too. Prompt number 7. What book villain would you not like to meet alone in a dark alley on Halloween? And the original prompter has Voldemort from Harry Potter. And yeah, I wouldn't want to meet Voldemort in a dark alley because if I did, he would probably say Avada Kedavra and I'd be dead before I could do anything. But I'm going to say the Lord Ruler from the Final Empire. Yeah, it's nearly impossible to beat this guy. He's immortal, so I don't want to meet him in a dark alley. Yeah, dark alley. There we go. But yeah, also probably a lot of the villains in the horror books that I read as well. I wouldn't want to meet them in a dark alley either. Prompt number 8. Would you rather, this is made for me, would you rather dress up as a vampire, a zombie, a werewolf, or a shadow hunter? The question was made for me. Okay. We're going to take out the second and third options already. I would not go as a zombie. Seriously, I'm not interested in the whole zombie theme anyway, and to have to deal with all those prosthetics and then to have to take them off at the end of the night. No, I don't want to deal with that. Werewolf, sure, if there was a costume, it might be easy enough to do, but otherwise, just cross it off. So it's either going to be vampire or shadow hunter. I would do either. I don't think I've ever done a vampire look, but I would love to do it. I'd love to try a vampire look for Halloween. And Shadowhunter, yeah, of course, try and model it off how Alec looks. Yeah, for sure. So I'd go with either vampire or Shadowhunter. Just a quick side note: the original writer of the tag, the sassy geek, gave an answer to that one that I just want to tell anyone who has read Vampire Academy. You need to hear this answer because you'll appreciate it. They said, a vampire, I guess. I wouldn't really be interested in dressing up as any of those, especially not a Shadowhunter. Don't get me started on those guys, but I'd go with Rose Hathaway from the Vampire Academy series. Yes, technically she's a dump here, but we won't go into those details. If you've read the Vampire Academy, you know what this person means, and I do, and it gave me a good laugh. Prompt number 9, pick a candy. Pick a candy, just one, from Harry Potter that you would love to find in your stash. A candy from Harry Potter. I mean, there's so many. I don't know what I would want. I don't know, maybe the one that makes you sing like a canary. That could be fun. I don't remember what that one's called. I don't want the one that has you blowing steam out of your ears. I don't want the one that makes you sound like an elephant. I don't need to try Bertie Bott's every flavour beans because I've tried Jelly Belly and I figure it's probably the same thing or very similar. Maybe a pumpkin pasty or pastille or whatever the heck it's called. A chocolate frog. Chocolate doesn't really interest me that much, but I wouldn't mind getting the card. I'm not a big Ron fan, but Ron makes a good point. It's the card you want. Yeah, so I'd probably do it for the card. I don't know what else. Oh, maybe the sugar quill. That could be nice. Okay, I'm good. We've answered that question. We can move on. Prompt number 10. What is your favourite Halloween candy? Again, I'm Australian, so I probably shouldn't have done this tag. So I'm very limited in the candy that I know of for Halloween. And I would have to go with candy corn because I finally, about 3 or 4 years ago, for the first time in my life, tried candy corn. Now, those of you in America may have had it many times, but I tried it for the first time in my life 3 or 4 years ago, and I loved it. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe I hadn't had candy corn before. It's so nice. And then there's that pumpkin one. I'm going to have to find out what that is. Give me a moment. Oh my gosh, it's literally called candy pumpkin. A candy pumpkin is a small pumpkin-shaped mellow cream confection, primarily made from corn syrup, honey, carnauba wax, chocolate, and sugar. Yeah, that thing, the candy pumpkin, can rival the candy corn. But I love both of them. And that ends that one. So again, I'm just going to tag anyone and everyone who wants to do this tag. Just let me know in the comments below that you're doing it because I would love to see you do it. So that was the Halloween book tag. And yeah, if I knew that a lot of it was going to be about trick-or-treating, which makes sense because that's what you do on Halloween, I probably wouldn't have done it. But hey, it was fun for me and I hope it was fun for you. And that is where I am going to leave it. So I'm going to let you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind and love one another and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, happy reading. Bye, everyone.